Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Los Artilleros. Um, you have to forgive me today. Today's actually the first time in a long time that I've been able to record a review of a game, any game, straight after the game's finished. So I've just watched Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Obviously, you probably know by now that we lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. Obviously they got a goal in the first minute and a half. Sloppy goal. They restarted the game, so obviously we gave the ball away, then got the ball back, and then Cedric kind of decided not to pass to Gabriel, and then we gave the ball away, they knocked it in the box and they scored. Not the best debut for Matty Ryan, although I think he had a really, really good game. I think if it wasn't for Matty Ryan, the new Australian goalkeeper just for the season at the moment, if it wasn't for him, I think it would have been 2 or 3-0 to them, so I think he had a good game. It's just, it's not that good when you concede in the first couple of minutes, and it was his teammates' fault. It wasn't his fault. He had no chance of saving that. It was deflected as well, so I don't blame him at all. And then we kind of just sat through 87 minutes worth of rubbish. So slow. Saka was probably the best player on the pitch. He was trying, but he was off. He had an off game, but he was still our best player. Smith Rowe was quiet. Lacazette was quiet. Aubameyang was quiet when he came on. Odegaard had a couple of chances, one in particular that he should have scored in the second half, but I'll get to that in a minute. I was actually really happy with the starting lineup, by the way. Apart from Cedric at left back, I don't rate him at left back at all. He's terrible there. Don't know why we keep playing him there. We've got other options. And obviously his mistake led to the goal, so I'm not quite happy with Cedric at the moment. But the team is good. Matty Ryan, I'd have him over Brunson. Obviously Leno's, got a couple of games banned, I think, for his red card, so I prefer Matty Ryan over Winson for sure. Attacking wise, it's a good starting lineup. Lacazette's been on form lately. Saka's been on form. Smith Rowe. I was really happy with it. To be honest, we played terribly, absolutely terribly. It's slow, tedious build up, just to pointlessly give the ball away, and then Aston Villa's in our box in 2 seconds flat. It's so easy for them to get the ball off us. It's so easy for them to get all the way into our box. Matty Ryan scrambling around trying to make saves. It was just embarrassing, really. I mean, Aston Villa didn't really try. They got their goal. That was it. They had a couple of counter-attacks that Matty Ryan had to save with good saves. But apart from that, they didn't have to try. They knew that Arsenal were never going to really score a goal. They were never in danger of letting a goal in. Against us, and they just sat back and they just waited the rest of the game out, and it was so annoying. It was so annoying. I've really, you always forget as Arsenal fans just how annoying watching Arsenal play. You watch an Arsenal game, you get irritated as hell over it, and then a few days go by, a week goes by, and then you think, okay, let's go, and get excited again, only for it to happen again. It was just horrific. It was just so annoying. I don't really blame Arteta. His team was really good, I think, on paper at least. More than enough to beat Aston Villa. His substitutions as well. I think he was right taking Lacazette off first for Aubameyang. Lacazette was really not having a good game. He didn't have a bad game, he just didn't do anything. He was no threat to them whatsoever, so I felt Aubameyang had an opportunity to stamp his position again, get his starting position back, but he was quiet as well. He didn't really do anything. I was happy to see Cedric go off for Odegaard. I like Odegaard. I think he's just a bit rusty at the moment. He had one shot that he should have got on target at least. Well, he skied it. I think that was purely down to just rustiness, I guess. I think he's only played about 20 minutes for us so far, so it's understandable, but he should have got that on target. He properly skied it, and should have done much better in that situation. But apart from that, the game was about 5 minutes ago, and I still can't remember really us having any clear shots. Martinez might as well have just sat on the sidelines, although he did foul Lacazette. But obviously, we're not going to get a penalty given for us. It's always against us. If it had been the other way around, we would have got a penalty in that position. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm still annoyed. I'm annoyed with Jack Grealish. Don't really rate him as a player. He's quite quick on the ball. Passes alright, but drops so easily. You breathe on him too hard and he just falls over. Just don't like him at all. He's one of those players that I just don't like. He's just a bit of a douche, but whatever. But yeah, it doesn't take away the fact that we were absolutely terrible today. We have no attacking threat whatsoever. We're scrambling around the box as well whenever they attack. Our defence is so shaky. Gabriel's form is way off. Holding's doing the best he can, but he's just not. I just don't think he's quite where we should be aiming at in terms of the centre back. Yeah, and then he brings Willian on. Over Martinez sat right there. I would have had Martinez on all day, and you can just that one of my Arsenal friends suggested that it's because they want to justify his paycheck. They want to play him until he does good, and he just does nothing. Willian might as well sit in the middle of the centre circle and read a book. He does absolutely nothing. Gives the ball away. Doesn't really have a shot. He always makes himself look like he's about to do some madness, and then does absolutely nothing. He's done absolutely nothing in an Arsenal shirt, and it's February. He's been with us for months and months now, and he's done absolutely nothing. Don't want to see him play for Arsenal again. I've said that I didn't want to see him start, and thankfully he hasn't really started a game for us in a while now. But I don't want to see him playing for Arsenal. Play Martinelli, for God's sake. He's young, he's talented, he needs to build up his confidence after his injury, he needs to get his form back. Just play him, don't play Willian. There's no point, it's an empty shirt. And, I know that Arteta's doing it because he's probably pressured from above. But we've got to play him because, we paid so much money for him. He needs to do something. Sod that, just don't play him, take the loss. Yeah, just a horrific game. It's absolutely terrible. We can't really score at the moment. We can't play through the middle. We have to go to the sides. And when we go to the sides, we get it in the box and there's no centre forward to head the ball in. Where was this play when we had Giroud? When we had Giroud, we were playing down the middle all the time. Ozil was putting the ball on the plate for the Giroud and he couldn't do anything for it because we weren't playing to his strengths. We get rid of Giroud and suddenly it's like, let's just knock the ball into the box now. And at one point you see Bellerin run down the right hand side, look up for ages. He must know there's absolutely no Arsenal players in the box whatsoever and still crosses the ball in. And the Aston Villa's like, okay, knock it out. It's just, Lacazette's not a typical centre forward where he's going to head the ball in from across. Lacazette needs the ball at his feet to score, and we don't play to that. It worked for a little while with Saka and then Smith Rowe, but that seems to have dipped now. There's been a few games now where they haven't quite clicked together. Aubameyang's still on his, hiatus from when he signed his contract. I think he scored a couple of goals since then, in fairness to him, but still, we need prime Aubameyang back, to be honest. But we don't have a creative midfielder. Odegaard's still getting used to the team, still getting used to the league. It's going to be a while before he really clicks, and probably just before he goes back to Madrid. Smith Rowe and Saka seem to be in a little bit of a dip. Again, Saka seemed a lot more brighter than Smith Rowe in this game. He seemed like our best player. He seemed like the most threatening player we had. Bellerin did alright a couple of times. Did a few forward runs. Just give the ball away. But it's so annoying watching us pass, snailing towards their goal, and then get the ball away, and it's like 2 seconds later they're in our box. It's so easy for them to pass, have a shot. Whereas us, it's just so slow, and it's so annoying when you watch them for about 5 minutes getting from A to B, and then it's like, lost the ball, and it's like, what was the point? But it is what it is. Hopefully things improve. We've got a run of really tough games now. This is a game we could have won, I think. If we were just mildly good, we could have won this game, but it is what it is. I'm going to stop rambling now. I'm pretty sick and tired. I'm going to finish my beer. So, I will see you guys next week. Hopefully we can get our form back up and running. This is going to annoy me now for a few days, but whatever. Life of an Arsenal fan, I guess. Yeah, I think we're not going to get top 4 now. I reckon we'll probably finish 6th, maybe 7th. Hopefully 6th, because that I guess is in and around Europa League, but we're not good for we're not good enough for Europa League. If we play like today, when we play against Benfica, they're going to shred us completely, but that is one for another day. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Take it easy, guys.